gorgeous humans, and welcome to the Tiny Talks podcast. This is the podcast where we take big thoughts and make them a tiny bit more manageable, one tiny talk at a time. I'm your host Samantha, and I'm here today with Pagin, and I'm very excited because this is the first episode.
It is.
It is. It's
Yes.
very exciting.
It was like, what, 10 tries?
Yeah.
To get here?
No, it's fine though. We got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We'll start. Do you want to introduce yourself? A bit. Just like say your name, what year you are, and then we'll get into the theme of the episode today.
Okay. Well, I'm Pagin. Odd name, so only one. And I'm a year 12 at Dalen College, of course.
Yeah.
So we know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So today's episode is going to be about experience, and we're going to talk about job experience. We're going to talk about leadership experience,
Yeah.
and any other experiences we've had, and the skills that we've learned from them, and how they sort of feed into each other. We're going to start with our highlight of the week.
Highlight of the week.
Yeah, do you have we're going to do this every week
Every week, yeah.
on the episode, on the podcast.
Yeah.
Do you want to...
I think going to the plays, I really
Yeah.
like doing that, you know.
Yeah.
Was yours doing the play?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I forgot that we actually had that. We had our drama plays this week,
Yeah.
in level 2. That was very fun. I actually enjoyed the open night guide.
Really?
That was
Actually,
it
yeah,
was
that
really,
was
it was
fun.
quite fun with our little
I felt
light
like
up
it took too long, though, with my group.
yeah, it took a really long time.
Yeah.
And my group insisted on going back through the music department because some people missed it. So
Oh, okay.
and then they just
I think,
yeah.
I think it just needs to be cut back a little bit shorter,
Yeah.
but like, I
They
really
really
quiet group.
yeah.
They didn't really.
Yeah,
to be
the
honest.
same.
I was
No.
like, oh.
No, it was a good group. They were cool people.
Yeah.
I think it just
crazy.
needs to be edited because it was so busy and there were so many people.
There was so many people.
And although the school's big, it's not that big.
I think lots of people lost their groups too.
Yeah, no, I think I lost a couple.
I had lots of
couple
people join
people
my
along the
group,
way.
so I had like a whole bunch in the end. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it was lovely, but like,
It
I was like,
good.
oh, how are
yeah,
you?
I saw you walking down the driveway at the end and you had like this massive group and I was
Oh
like,
my
I had
God.
like 9 people in my group by the end of
They
it
just
and
kept
you
coming
yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool, another one, sweet.
The science department was so backlogged.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Some groups took really long, some groups just like zoomed through.
Yeah, and it like kept on getting like caught up, especially the ones that had like interactive parts.
Yeah.
It would get really, really backlogged, which
Yeah.
was slightly annoying, but that's okay.
It was a fun night.
Cool. So let's focus on today's topic.
Yeah.
Experience. So do you want to tell us a bit about the experiences that you've had?
Yeah.
So jobs, I know that you do Big Brother, Big Sister, that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah, I think I got my first job in year 10.
Mhm.
I started at the Honest Lawyer just as a dish hands.
Yeah.
Started from the bottom.
Yeah.
I was there for like a year, I think,
Mhm.
and I just really didn't enjoy the work environment there, so I moved to the Indian cafe
Oh yeah.
as a waitress and dish hand.
Mhm.
I can't remember how long I was there.
Yeah.
It was a couple months, like around 6 months, and then once again, hospitality just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So I was searching for a job. I remember I applied at Countdown and Mitre 10,
Mhm.
and luckily I got into Mitre 10,
Yeah.
and then I started working at Nature Lane, like volunteering
Yeah.
with the holiday program. So
Yeah,
now I
that's
do
cool.
Mitre 10 and Nature Lane and Big Brother Big Sister, of course.
Cool.
But yeah.
So that's a bit about your job. So we'll look
Yeah.
at jobs a bit and talk about that.
Yeah.
My first question, what is your favourite part about having a job? If you could choose one thing that's sort of like the best thing about having a job.
I think most people would say the money, because like
Yeah.
I mean, having money
Yeah.
at this age you can do so
It's-
much.
yeah.
But like, it definitely made me a lot more comfortable talking to people, because I used to
Yeah.
be really awkward and like learning how to like bite my tongue,
Mhm.
like pure
Yeah.
honesty.
Yeah.
Because I used
No,
to be an
that's-
angry
yeah.
teenager, so I definitely learned being around people just how to like communicate
Yeah.
how I feel a bit better
Yeah.
instead of just like snapping.
And having like those intellectual skills to
Yes.
have like
Yeah.
better conversations with humans. in
Yeah.
general.
Well, see, look at us right now.
I
You know,
know, look at us
So
go.
great. But it definitely that I think is my favorite part.
Yeah.
You know, helps you
Yeah.
grow as a person, definitely.
Yeah.
So
Oh, absolutely. Cool. Next question. Have you had any fails trying to figure out the working world? And how did you overcome them? And what did they teach you? And so on.
I think, well, as a dish hand, you break lots of dishes.
Oh.
For starters, you
I
break
don't know
a
why I didn't think about that.
Oh,
That
you break
seems-
so many.
Yeah.
So I definitely learnt a bit better not to break those.
Yeah.
I don't really know if fails. It's more just like
Yeah.
learning how to communicate with people.
Yeah.
And like learning how to, because at my past jobs and stuff, I definitely didn't click with some people I did work with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's learning how to kind of learn to work with people that aren't necessarily someone
Yeah.
you click with, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's definitely something that feeds into everyday life as well.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out how to talk to people, because like, especially at this age, we don't have a lot of experience like in communications.
Yeah.
Like, we sort of have to just learn that through trial and error, and that's
Yeah.
usually with people our age, and
yeah.
people our age
Yeah.
are very different to adults.
Yeah. Well,
so.
I find just like working with adults definitely helps.
Yeah.
Because like teenage girls can be quite.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So like learning how to kind of communicate a bit better, because of course there's going to be girls at school I don't get along with.
Yeah.
But I've definitely learned that at this age now, like. Me last year, definitely I would have said something if I didn't like someone.
Yeah.
But me now, I'm like, cool, I don't get along with them. I won't tell that to their face, because that's not nice.
Like, sort of like
You know?
accepting the situation and being able to like negotiate that a bit better with yourself.
Yeah. Because I felt like I was someone who was like, if I don't like someone, they need to know, so then they don't come and annoy me. But now I'm like I don't like them, and I can learn to deal with them.
Yeah.
Because it's not nice being told someone doesn't like you.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I think, like, learning how to communicate properly with people is a very, very important skill.
Yeah.
That's sort of not really learned until you're a bit older.
Like this age, even.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, even people our age now, like.
Yeah.
No, or like you're younger than me.
Yeah.
And you've, you know, I think it's mainly what you're surrounded with mainly.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely learned what I want to surround myself with. Because, like, even I don't know how to communicate with my own friends sometimes.
Yeah, no,
And
absolutely.
it's like, you know, give it a year and...
And I think, as well, sort of taking a bit of a tangent, like, communication now is really difficult, especially with social media.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the communication now comes through sending reels and TikToks.
And people say stuff that they wouldn't say in person.
Yeah, and as well as that, it's really difficult to, like, understand, like, a text message as well.
Like, the context of it.
And the context of it, and how they're actually sending the message. Like, I know that I've been both on the receiving and sending of messages that just haven't come across right.
Yeah.
And you're like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, it's like, that wasn't my intention, but that's how it came off.
And I think that makes it a lot more difficult than people realize, because now conversation starters are a reel.
Oh my gosh.
And like, as cool as that is, that we have like other ways we can communicate with people, it makes it a lot more difficult. And I don't think people like have really processed that very much, which I think is interesting, and I think about quite a lot actually.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, like, I know at this age people do like dating and stuff, and I just gave up with that sort of thing at this age because people don't know how to communicate, and it's just like, personally I'm just not interested in that really. But just watching like how me and Ava communicate, like we'll send each other reels every once in a while, but usually I'll just be like, she was at a party last night and I was at home and I was like, get home safe, good night, I'm going to bed, you know?
Yeah, like that
just
sort of thing's sweet. And I think, you know, making sure that like you're monitoring yourself how you're using messages. And I know that I have like a lot of friends, and myself included, who are spending so much time on social media, and like that's our main form of communication. So a little top tip: try and find a way to meet up with someone in person and hang out and actually like get outside and talk to people, because that is also going to help build your communication skills.
Yeah, definitely.
And like, you know, and I think as well, like, in terms of communication, if you're in an argument with someone, don't try to settle it over text. Meet up with them in person for 20 minutes, try and talk about it, because trying to solve an argument over text is very rarely...
Well, like, once again, you'll say things that you wouldn't say. Yeah. Like, if someone wants to argue with me over the phone, I'm like, I'm going to see you tomorrow. I'll give you time to cool down and think about what you want to say. Yeah. Because when you're angry, you just want to get that anger out. Yeah. And when you've thought about it, you're like, okay, I want to approach it this way and I want to solve it. If you want to solve it, you know. Because arguing when you're angry, you say nasty things. Yeah.
Especially over text, where you can be more passive aggressive. And, like, you know, especially if you care about this person, like, put in the effort to try and see them and negotiate it and settle it.
Even, like, call.
Call. Like, don't text. If you can't call, or if they aren't a caller, or that's just not going to work for you, try and find a time to talk to them in person to settle it out. And don't, like, don't try to... don't
keyboard warrior that
stuff. Like, don't do that. Bad idea. Very bad idea. Not good.
Oh, goodness,
Okay. Let's move on to the next question. What are the main... We've sort of covered this a bit. But we're gonna spread it a bit more. What are the main skills that you've been able to develop through work experience? And as well as this, how have these skills been able to transfer into your everyday life? So school, relationships, and I don't know if you want to choose a different thing to focus on, or if you want to talk about communication a bit more.
Well, definitely, communication, dealing with my own anger, because I was an angry kid for sure.
Yeah.
Even, like, communicating with my parents.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's just, like, me and mum now, because Greer's off at uni.
Yeah.
And dad's on the boat, so it's on and off.
Yeah.
I mean, as a teenage girl, you don't necessarily click with your parents really well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've definitely learned to communicate with them, like, when I'm upset, instead of just getting angry and just, like, walking off. You know, I'm like, I'm going to come back in 5 minutes and think about what I want to say, because I'm really angry and I don't want to say anything mean. Because you can't act like that in a workplace.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
Which, working with some teenagers, some, you know, don't.
I think the self-control thing and, the self-management thing is, like, a really good point to bring up. And I think I don't necessarily get angry, but I tend to get really upset at things.
Yeah, feel deeply.
Yeah. And so I think, you know, I don't work, I don't have a job.
You do lots of, like, extracurricular.
Yeah, I do lots
social.
Of, so I get experience through other things, which I think are going to benefit what I want to do in the future. But, you know, I think I tend to, like, something I've been working on a lot recently has been sort of managing my emotions and controlling them and trying to, you know, I'm a big journaling girl and I love to, like, do little, like, mental health things and stuff, and I have a whole lot of different, you know, things that I do for, like, self-regulation and reflection. Yeah. But I think that's a really important thing as well. Yeah. And sort of trying to, like, and I think is that, as well as that, just, like, finding who you are in yourself and not letting outside things affect you, and realizing that you have control, and that other people doing dumb stuff, even if it's dumb, like, it's not your fault that they're acting like that, or your fault that they're treating you like that, or treating other people the way that they're treating others. Yeah. And so, like, because I think a lot of the time, like, anger and sadness, like, tend to come from what other people are doing. Yeah. And, like, sitting in yourself is a good way to, you know, let those emotions simmer. Yeah. And
I think, well, just, like, working, like, not necessarily working either way, just, like, being in lots of social places, you learn to have a social filter. And it is good at this age to learn how to deal with your emotions, because at this age you do feel really deeply. Yeah. And, you know, like, some people think I'm not a very sensitive person, but, like, I, like, coming back to school, I, like, had panic attacks and stuff because I'm so anxious coming back, or, like, the day before that, someone said something to me and it got in my head and I just, like, freaked out. It's just, like, all about learning how to, like, not mask it, but just, like, deal with it in a way that doesn't affect you in too much, you know? Yeah,
and I think, like, I've been really nervous to start this podcast. Like, I'm really excited about it, but, like, there's also, like, what if people don't like it? What if they think I'm dumb for doing this? But at the end of the day, I want to do this, so what does it matter whether they think it's cool or not? Like, I'm excited to do it at the end of the day, and sort of, you know, processing within myself. If other people don't like it, then that's fine. I like it,
they don't have to listen.
There's got to be someone out there who likes it, and, you know, that's pretty cool.
Like, they can listen to the, like, Brittany Broski podcast.
You know, I love her podcast so much.
It's really good.
It's so good. It's so funny.
But, like, that doesn't mean they're going to love every podcast they listen to, you know? Yeah. And because they love it because it's her. Yeah. You know, so what's wrong with you doing a podcast as well?
I know. And you know, it's, I think, because, you know, I haven't actually explained the meaning behind the podcast or why I started it. But, like, it's sort of to try and speak to teens from teens, because I feel like a lot of mental health for teen stuff is from adults or people who have already been teens and are not teens in this current generation. Yeah. And so trying to, you know, be like, I'm a teenager, I feel this too, I get how you feel, I understand that.
I mean, not every experience is going to, like, match up, but, like, just to know that other teenagers...
Yeah.
Like, we're not all coping well, you know. This year's been actually crazy.
It's been insane.
My God.
I'm at the beginning of October 3 and I'm like, oh my gosh, I still need to brace myself.
I just want to jump to year 13. Get me out of here.
Yeah. I'm like bracing myself. I'm like, I just need to get through this term.
Let's pretend it didn't happen and just jump ahead.
I mean, we still have derived grades. Solo performing arts competition for me is coming up. Yeah. I have, like, all of my
sort of leadership things for next year.
Leadership stuff for next year. Like, all that stuff is just insane. insane. Very exciting, but it's insane.
Yeah, it's a lot, you know.
It is a lot. We're gonna move on to the next question. You might not have a lot for this one.
Oh yeah.
But do you have any regrets about working at your age?
A little bit. Like, you know, at this age, there's lots of FOMO. Like, you hate missing out.
Yeah.
And I mean, working, I taught myself out of FOMO a bit, so I feel really good about that part. But just like, when it first started, it actually like hurt me so bad when I'd see my whole friend group went out, and I was stuck at work for that night. You know. Or especially starting in hospitality, having those real, like, I'd get home at, like, 10, 11 some nights in the summertime, and my sleep just sucked. Like, and I'd be so grumpy and angry. And because some teachers actually don't understand that. Like, I work a Sunday, I'm sometimes there from, if I go in at 7:30, I'm there till 4:30. If I go in at 9:30, I'm there till 6. So they don't understand I've been there for, like, 8-9 hours, gone home, had dinner, did more schoolwork, then went to school the next day. Like, they don't get that. And it makes me, like, a little bit angry sometimes, because I'm like, you don't get my pain.
No, FOMO is a major thing. I did, an English essay on FOMO and, like, how that impacts us and our mental health. And, like, it can be, if you don't, like, disconnect from everything else and what other people are doing and how other people are living, it can be really, really, really bad for your mental health. And it can, like, cause to, you know, it can result in anxiety and it can, like, have all of these, like, physical side effects. And I'm like,
FOMO made me feel like I was crazy. Like, I thought I was actually going
FOMO
insane.
is, like, and I think, you know, that's another thing about social media, like, trying to find times where you can disconnect and you're like, I'm not going on social media for this weekend, I'm gonna let myself, you know, have a bit of a breather, because FOMO is massive, like, it's, and I don't think it's really talked about enough, like, it's talked about, but like, especially for teenagers, especially now that we can see what everyone's doing. You can see if people had a sleepover without you. You can see if they hung out without you.
And they don't try hard at sometimes.
And they don't try hard. You can see when your friends are hanging out without you. You can, like, you can see all this stuff because everyone documents everything. And I'm not saying don't document what you're doing, because I love social media for that reason. And I love being able to, you know, make my cute little, like, carousel posts and stuff. But, you know, FOMO is real.
Which, like, I'm glad I taught myself out of it, but after, like, the school holidays, I think I saw Ava once. Like, the big ones, because I was working, and after that, I just, like, I have no feel to, like, need to see people. Like, today, I'm just like, cool, I'm gonna go see Sam. This is, like, the first time I've probably actually gone out of my way to see someone, like, outside of school. Like, I don't have the need for social stuff anymore, and I'm like, is there, like, something wrong? I'm just like, I just really enjoy, I have learned to really enjoy my own company, though. But
like, just, having social interactions are important, but it's also important to learn how to let yourself relax and, like, decompress without needing social media as well.
Oh, just even going home after school, not touching anything, and, like, laying on the ground.
Like, grounding yourself.
Just, like, it's
so
like,
good.
I sit there and just analyse the day, I'm like, it feels so good.
You know? No, it's great. And it's, I mean, one thing that I've found a bit difficult, the next episode is going to go into this a bit more, but, like, I lived overseas, and so then coming here and seeing all my old friends still hanging out and, you know, doing their GCSEs, like,
moving on without
you, and moving on without me, and forming new friendships, and I see people being friends, and I'm like, whoa, that's a connection I never saw happening ever. And you're like, well, I've missed so much, but then, I come here and I'm like, well, I've formed so many new amazing connections with people, and I've met so many cool people like you, and, you know,
thanks.
And, like, all my friends and stuff here who I wouldn't have met if I hadn't come here, you know?
Definitely.
So that's really interesting. This one is a bit of a flick into the future. Which, of course, we can't determine how well this will actually go, because we can't predict the future, unfortunately. But, do you think these experiences may help you in the future?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think, like, because of course I want to head off to uni and stuff, like, the whole Natureland thing gives me those volunteer hours and Big Brother, Big Sister, because, like, I was aiming for excellence endorsement this year, but that humbled me really good.
That's so real.
And, you know, like, those little things add up just to me adding that on my thing, being like, look, I'm not the most genius child there, but I've done this thing, this is me as a person, about cool, that's what we want to educate, you know? Because, like, I know getting scholarships is hard and university's expensive, I can't wait for that.
It's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah. And because when I'm like 20 years down the track, like I don't think I will have children, but I can tell my cats and stuff.
Yeah. The little old cat lady. Like the new cat lady who like peeks over the fence.
So I'll be like reading to them a book.
Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, I do have a niece and nephew. I can be like, oh, you know, when I was at that age, I was doing that thing. So I can kind of encourage them and stuff. Or like as a teacher, I can be like, these are the things I was doing at that age.
Mm-hmm.
I'd recommend doing this and that and blah blah blah, because I've lived that work experience. Yeah. You know, so I can pass down my wise knowledge.
Yes. I think as well, like, it's important to look at what you want to focus on as well. Yeah. And I think people feel though they need to have all of the academics and they need to have all of the extracurriculars and the volunteer hours and all of this. I mean, that's wise coming from me, seeing as I'm literally the person who does all that stuff. Yeah. But I think, especially in the last year, I've begun focusing in on what I actually want to do and what's going to benefit me. Yeah. So while I'm still super into my grades and extracurriculars, I'm like, well, I don't need a job. I don't need to volunteer. Yeah. And although those are good to have on my resume at the end of the day, like, I'm doing what I enjoy, what suits me, and what I want to focus on. And, like, as much as I'm sometimes like, oh, well, it would be great to have a job so I can get some money and volunteer for my resumes and for leadership things for the future, at the end of the day, like... Yeah.
But it's like, you have all those extracurriculars. Yeah. And
my focus goes there.
Yeah, it suits our lifestyles, because, like... Yeah. Natureland, I actually live when I'm there, like, that's where I feel like my true self sort of thing. Yeah. And, like, I'm really happy with the person that I am as of currently for this age because of those things. Yeah. You know? And I think if it was the other way around and you were doing those things, that wouldn't suit the future you're aiming for, you know? Yeah. Because, like, Mighty Team does a helping hand sort of thing and stuff like that. Like, it's a really community sort of stuff, which that's what I love. That's what I want. Because as a teacher, I'm not going to, like, I want you to be the smartest kid. I'm going to be like, this is what my intermediate teacher did to us. He was like, I want you to be a good person in the community. I don't care if you're not the smartest. I don't care if you're not the best at sports. I just want you to be a good person. Because, like, looking at this generation, well,
it's certainly something, but I think, you know, if being a good person for you means that you have good grades and you're good at sport, but you're still supporting each other, then that's fine too. Yeah. Like, it's so important to invest time into the things that make you tick, which is such a cliche.
But saying. It's so true though.
But it's so true. Like, what's the point in, like, putting time into something that you're not going to enjoy and that you don't want to be doing?
Especially at this age. Yeah. Like, if you're not heading to university, you know, that is what it is.
I mean, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Yeah. Like, I'm probably going to take a gap year or two and figure my life out then. So why take in all the work and volunteer hours now when I'm going to have 2 years after I finish school to try and do all that stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think it's important to have balance in, like, what you're doing and when you're doing it. Because you can't do everything at once as much as
I'd love to.
As much as I'd love to be able to do everything I want to do and have the time for all of it, I just don't.
Well, only one person, you know, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. We've sort of already covered this, but I'm just going to ask it in case you have any other thoughts. What are the main challenges you found that you experienced through working? And, like, that can be any.
Well, definitely the whole, like, the FOMO thing at the beginning. Yeah. Teachers not understanding. Yeah. I mean, I love working at Mighty 10 and, like, doing the Natureland thing. Like, I love it so much. I genuinely do. I just, like, I get really tired and a little bit, like, socially drained. Yeah. So, like, when I came back to school after the school holidays, being around all my friends so much, I, like, freaked out. I was like, oh my god.
You're like, stay away from me.
I was like, you're so much.
I need space.
Oh, and just everyone had changed, not changed, like, in a bad way, but, like, I'd been around adults so much and, like, younger children that I was like, you guys are a little immature, and I struggled with that. But, I mean, I can be immature. I'm definitely a bit more kept with that this year than I was last year, though. So I struggled a little bit with that. I was like, oh my god, stay away! Yeah. But now I'm I'm comfortable with everyone. I'm like, cool, I know how you all work.
Yeah, and trying to find balance is really difficult. Balance. And trying to, like, navigate that as well is really tough. Balance in time, balance in how you feel, balance in anything is really tough.
So, I mean, you can make the perfect schedule, but it's about how you're feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and so that's a bit, you know. Yeah. Cool. that's sort of the main stuff on work. Yeah. Now we're going to talk about Big Brother, Big Sister.
Yes.
And some leadership stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you want to start telling us about Big Brother, Big Sister?
Absolutely.
And what that's like?
I remember when we applied for it, you know, it came around the perfect time because I was looking for something like that. I was really nervous actually working towards it because I mean I'd worked with younger kids before, but like the little one I've been paired up with, she's quite young and she's very energetic. She's keeping me fit. We always play 2-person tag.
Oh,
and of
lovely.
course when I get closer, she's like, no, pause. And I'm like, tag. She's not.
I love kids.
Oh, she's quite a sore loser, so we're working on that. But like it splits up my week. Like it gives me something to look forward to in the week instead of just school work.
Yeah.
She's just so cute.
Yeah.
You know, because she's only got brothers, and so she. Oh, it was so cute because Jo, the chick who runs it, she catches up with me and then catches up with her separately. Yeah. And she said it's so nice to have our older sister finally, and I was like, oh,
that's so cute.
That's so adorable.
Yeah, that's it. I love that so much. Yeah.
But I definitely, it's only a 2-year thing, so I know like saying goodbye will be hard.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely looking forward to doing the board green one if I do get into that. Because I'm like, sweet. Children are my jam. That sounds really weird, but it's not that way. Working alongside
Take it out of context, that could be.
Oh my god.
I'll clip it. Yes, and I'll post it.
Because all my friends are like, oh, you're spending Tuesdays at the child, you creep. And I'm like, it's not like that.
Yeah.
It's not. It's quality time.
Yeah.
You know.
We love quality time. No, I'll clip it and I'll post it and be like, Pagin likes kids.
I mean, I did give you consent to do that. You know? Oh, gosh.
Next question. Yeah. So we talked about job opportunities. Yeah. Now we're going to talk about Big Brother, Big Sister and how that feeds into areas of your life. Are there like any more like specific skills from that impact other areas?
I think, well, I got lots of my skills like working with younger children from Natureland, so that helped a lot working with my little one. I think honestly, as silly as this sounds, my imagination with her, because she really likes playing like unicorn games and stuff, and
I love that.
It's really hard at the beginning. I found it really hard to be like, there's like she would make food and give it to me, and I'd have to pretend to eat it, and I'm just like, and she's like, no, you're allergic, don't eat it.
Oh,
and I'm like,
right, lovely, of course.
So you're trying to poison me?
Yeah.
No, I struggled with that to begin with, but after that, my imagination's a bit more open. Yeah. Like with my niece and nephew, I'm like, okay, cool, I can actually do these silly things now, and I don't find it like awkward.
That's interesting you said that. Like, imagination is something that, like, I feel like we lose as we grow up.
God, yeah.
And, like, I'm not gonna lie, I love Bluey and that sort of thing.
I love it. It's
Bluey's so good.
It's so good.
But, like the imagination that the kids have on that.
Oh, it's actually crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you don't realise how crazy
and, like,
it is.
You look at it and you're like, oh, like, they're playing so many games. And you're like, well, like, that's something that we lose as we grow up. Yeah. But that's, like, seeing their imagination, their brains ticking and, like, that sort of thing is really cool. It
definitely feeds into my inner child. Like, I played hopscotch with her and I was like, I haven't done this in so long. Like, I struggled jumping, but it was okay.
Yeah. But, like, I think, like, childhood imagination is honestly something that I feel like would benefit our lives, like, a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as teenagers and, you know, I feel like we're so stuck in this, like grey world where everything just seems a bit dull and we
heavy.
Don't... And heavy. Yeah. Like, finding some form of imagination and spark of joy is really... And, like... Not necessarily words are really difficult in imagination, but like just like finding things that you enjoy, and like for kids that is often, you know, playing and that sort of thing. But I think it's important that as teenagers everything just seems like it's wake up, eat breakfast, go to school, eat your lunch, come home, have dinner. If you have a job, you go do that, and everything feels a bit monotone. So finding ways to A, change that up, and B, just finding time to do things you like. Yeah. Whether that's reading or whether that's, you know, painting a little picture or something. I posted it on my story the other day, but like just finding things you like. Baking is another one.
Oh, I love baking.
Yeah, just like finding things that you enjoy, and it doesn't have to be long. Just like something for 10 minutes that breaks up your day and makes it feel like, a bit more.
It doesn't have to be things that like a child would do, like healing your inner child thing. But like doing stuff like that baking thing,
just feeding yourself with joy and
just like
enjoyment.
Little things. Like I remember I always just bake with my nan. I'm like, okay, cool. I do baking and I eat it all. It's feeding my inner child, literally.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, just, like, little things like that like, trigger those happy memories, you know.
Yeah, because, like, it's important to do that. And I think that's a major mental health thing. Because at the end of the day, this podcast is about mental health.
And us yapping.
And, always. Yeah. But, like, it's so important to, you know, take the time to do things you enjoy. Because we get so, like, stuck up and not stuck up. Is that what I'm looking for? We get so caught up, hung up on trying to, you know, have the perfect grades and be this perfect person and be, you know, influential to the people around you and just have a good social life as well as doing all the stuff you're doing. Like, it's just not. It
cracks me up, like, how much... Like, even, I feel like I'm quite secure with myself, but it cracks me up how much of my feelings I put into a grade, like, when I get an achieved. This might sound arrogant, but I try really hard with school. Yeah. When I get an achieved, I feel like, what was the point of even handing in that work? I wasted all those hours, but then I'm like, wait, like, it's just a grade, it's okay!
Yeah, like, it's, you know. And finding, like, the things that really matter. Like, all of my teachers tell me this, and it's like, if you get an achieved, if you get a merit on a paper, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Like, it's not the end of the world. And, like, you know, handing in that piece of work is good, because then you can get feedback on it. Figure out what went wrong. You can, you know, use it for next time. And, like, it's important to make mistakes. And everyone says that, but I feel like we don't. Like,
we hold ourselves to different standards.
Yeah, and we don't appreciate that enough, that it is okay to make mistakes. And if you make a mistake, that's okay. You learn from it, you move on. You're like, hey, didn't work out. That's fine.
I think it's about how you acknowledge it. Yeah. But I mean, like, my sister's at uni now, and she said they don't actually care about your grades. Like, when she told me that, I was like, yes.
Yeah. Yes! Like, it's so important to give yourself a break. Whether that's time, or whether that's, you know, internally letting yourself breathe and be like, okay, that's fine. Didn't work out this time. And of course it's going to be tough. And like, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort to, you know, sort of brace yourself and accept the fact that it's not going to be all rainbows and sparkles and unicorns.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
I think
it's tougher than people
learning how to deal at this age. I think it's learning how to deal with your emotions and how to deal with things.
And that's going to take years, because our emotions and the complexity of our emotions are going to change as well as we grow older, and it's a constant learning cycle. And, you know, sitting there with yourself, and that's why journaling is so good, and sitting there with yourself and realizing, oh, today's sadness feels like this, but a month ago it felt like this. Like, it's okay if those feelings change and develop, and they will for the rest of your life. And so it's not worth trying to, you know, once you feel like you've sorted an emotion out, you're like, okay, cool, I got this. I understand how I'm feeling, which takes a lot of time in itself. It's okay if those feelings then change.
I mean, like, when I get upset and it feels like it's like the end of the world, I'm like, it's not the end of the world. Like, it's okay that it feels like it's the end of the world, but it's not actually the end of the world. Because, like, once again, a month ago, I thought it was the end of the world, but it wasn't. Yeah. You know.
And, like, you know, I also applied for Big Brother Big Sister. I didn't get accepted, which was, you know, a bit sad. But, like, at the end of the day, who cares?
Other opportunities come by.
Yeah, and like, my timetable has been so busy this year. I probably didn't need it anyway, so...
Oh, people, I wanted to say, like, people think Big Brother Big Sister is like this crazy commitment. Like, it might seem like an hour a week, it sounds crazy, but I literally don't notice the hour go by. Yeah. Like, I haven't done it recently because she's been a bit sick. Yeah. But even last time, I spent that every week with her, seeing her. Yeah. And it feels like you haven't spent that week apart. Yeah. Like, it's like when you catch up with people and it feels like you haven't been apart. It's so good. Yeah. And you don't even notice the hour. It's like, cool. Yeah. Spent an hour with that kid. It was great. Went by really fast. Can't wait to be there again next week, sort of thing. Like, it's not, you know, this giant commitment where all your time's going to be taken up, you know. And
I think that's another thing. Like, I don't say that like that, but like, finding the things and putting time into the things that you enjoy again. Like, I can't stress enough how important that is. Like, if you don't enjoy something, then why do it? Like,
why waste your time?
Yeah, like,
you very limit. No, I'm joking. No, don't save you do save you every moment, but like, don't try and count your day by every minute, because like, Saturday's my only free day of the week, and I'm not like, okay, so I have to have this by 10, that by that. I just went, okay, so I have to clean my room because it gets busy over the week. I had to change my bed sheets, like, clean around the house, bath the dog, go driving. And I'm like, cool, I'm not going to limit that to times in the day. I'm just going to say I want to have that done by like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, after that I'll just do nothing.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy my time.
Yeah.
And,
that's a different kind of experience altogether. And, like, experiences aren't just, like, you can learn from experiences that aren't school and aren't work. And like, you learn so much from hanging out with people and doing the things you enjoy. And, like, experience and learning things can also come from finding out what you like doing. Try new things. Try going for a hike, or,
I mean, if you can do
that.
that.
If you can do that, try going for a hike, or try, if you've never painted before, try painting or drawing a picture, and just, like, exploring different things, because you're not going to find, like, yourself at this age. You're not going to, click and be like, I know exactly who I am and what I'm going to be and where I am in life. And if you have figured that out at this age, good job, and that's really, really cool. But, you don't have to have everything figured out by now. And so taking these new experiences and, learning from them is really, really important. Yeah. At the end of the day.
So. I mean, it's just about figuring it out as you go.
Yeah.
Sort of deal. But
yeah. So thank you for listening to Tiny Talks, and remember, you are kind, you are beautiful, you got this, and I will see you next week.
Yeah. High five on that. Oh, that was awesome.